Good morning, everyone. Thanks for joining us. I know we had like a lot of sessions for the last 4 days, or maybe like 6 days since we side. So, thanks for joining us. So, what I'm going to be talking about is OWASP AI Exchange. I'm going to be providing an overview how we are working on this together. So, a little bit about me and my journey with OWASP AI Exchange. I consider myself to be a technologist analyst, not a specialist. I work as a fractional CISO for a couple of mid-sized organizations. I consider myself to be a lifetime learner. AI and quantum is more different. Again, like avid technologist and a researcher. I have a passion for marketing and promotion, and I'm going to talk about my engagement with OWASP AI Exchange. Live in New York, passionate about nonprofits. That's one area that I'm very keen on. And why I say that is, I mean, we get paid to actually protect the organization, but there's like 99% of the world out there who are not like true security professionals. So that's one of my areas of looking at how AI gets into organization, non-profits, end users, and how do you actually educate people to use it wisely and responsibly. Uh, And my involvement from was really led. I was running like not a was, but I was running an independent Gen AI and quantum research group starting with October of last year because I had no idea what AI really was about. How do you actually embrace AI within organizations? And the same thing for quantum computing, right? And our leader, Rob Van Deet, who was in Netherlands and currently on vacation, unfortunately, he was not able to attend RSA, so he asked me to actually present on his behalf. Uh, so my involvement in AI Exchange really started with a LinkedIn post from Rob almost like six months ago, where he wanted to actually get more and more folks involved in the project, and I applied. Within the AI Exchange, I lead the marketing and promotion as well as creating a step-by-step adoption guide for organizations to embrace AI in organizations. So, truly humbled to be representing on behalf of Rob as well as the OWASP AI Exchange. And my LinkedIn is there. I have like a blog site also, you can actually connect with me. So, what is the mission for OWASP AI Exchange? So, you all heard about the morning sessions about LLM Top 10 and few other stuff, which is important, right? So, AI Exchange, the mission itself is be an authoritative source for consensus, foster alignment, and drive collaboration amongst initiatives. I think somebody in the previous session talked about what are we doing in terms of collaborating with other standards like NIST and MITRE. So that focuses on that. And it is not in any shape or form to set a standard, right? We are helping set the standard, but not like establishing a standard by itself. We intend to be a top bookmark for people in AI security, and by doing so, it provides a safe, open, and independent place to find and share insights for everyone. Some of the key facts of AI Exchange itself, it is covered under the Common Creative License, which means it's free of copyright and attribution. Similar to LLM Top 10 and the presentation that we are talking about, it's free for use. You don't have to actually attribute anything. You are free to use this one. As it currently stands, the material is almost like 130 pages long, and it is accessible at owaspai.org. I would have like a QR code towards the tail so you can actually take a picture of that. Just a quick blow up on the document itself. It's a collaborative working document providing comprehensive overview of AI threats, vulnerabilities, typos to foster alignment among its different standardization initiatives. And how does it relate to other OWASP and other organization initiatives? Again, like OWASP AI Exchange was primarily a sub-project within the AI security and privacy guide, which is geared towards delivering AI exchange content as well as like guidance on AI privacy. We all know about LLM Top 10, talking about the most important LLM security issues. Machine Learning Top 10 focuses on the top 10 security issues related to machine learning. And there's a new initiative out there, OpenCRE, which holds a catalog of common requirements across various security standards, both inside and outside of OWASP. So, AI Exchange, what does the target audience look like? it can be geared towards your cybersecurity experts, privacy and regulatory professionals, legal professionals, AI leaders, and then your organization, developers, data scientists, and then so on and on, right? I think the message that I want to convey is like it offers like accessible guidance and resources to these groups, enabling them to build and maintain secure AI systems effectively. So what are the scope and responsibilities? I'm not going to read all these things, but I think that what you see is the bullet points or the bold one is, so it's geared toward like developing a comprehensive framework for AI threats, risk, mitigation and controls, AI regulatory and privacy regulations, creating a common taxonomy, and provide guidance on testing tools. And of course, just like the cloud, it's also around formulating a shared responsibility model for third-party model usage and supply chain guidance across the skill, included in this whole. So coming back to the earlier point about the collaboration efforts with other entities and other regulations, so these are the engagement that we have ongoing. So you have regular collaborations with Cloud Security Alliance, ISO. Recently, we have like a liaison with, I don't remember its full form, so I'll have to read it for you. So we have a collaboration with European Committee for Standardization and European Committee for Electrotechnical Standardization, CN and the other one. And also with International Telecommunications Union. And recently, we are part of the AI SIC, which is the AI Safety Institute Consortium. And again, like I want to reiterate the fact, everything that we are doing is, and all the content is covered under CC0, which is the Common Creative License. So it's free of copyright and attribution. Some of the key achievements in the past few months. So our direct flow of content into ISO IEC 27090 and Standards for AI Act. Liaison relations with CN and CNE LEC. And also, I want to emphasize on the fact that we are recognized by the standard makers, not just within the US, but it's across the globe. Copyright, we talked enough about this one, but I think I just want to give a blurb on like the Creative Commons, what it means. So the person who associated a work with this work has dedicated the work to the public domain by waiving all of his or her rights to the work worldwide under copyright law, including all material and neighboring rights to the extent allowed by law. So you can copy, modify, distribute, and perform the work even for commercial purposes, all without asking permission. Talking about the ecosystem and the standards body that we are working together. Again, we are collaborating with the LLM top 10, machine learning top 10, and within the AI Exchange, it's actually made possible by involvement of global security and AI community. So within the core group, we actually meet bi-weekly. I would have a link to a YouTube channel where you can see all the recordings, stream the videos for the last 8 meetings that we had thus far. It's free of copyright. We feed into ISO, NIST, MITRE, and more and more standard bodies are in the pipeline. So how to address AI security? Again, I come from a security background, work as a fractional CISO, so it's important to actually have a clear understanding of potential threats, and also prioritize those risk and mitigation based on each use case, right? So a couple of key pillars for the AI security. Again, AI governance is a no-brainer. It's very important. Extend security and development practice within your organization. Improve regular application and system security through understanding of AI and its use cases. And obviously limit the impact of AI by minimizing privileges and adding oversight. And last but not the least, countermeasures in data security through understanding of the model attacks. So everything that we are doing is, again, coming from a software background or security background, it's everything based on the threat model. So we categorize the threats into 3 different categories during the development phase. When you're developing through using the model, And the last but not least is by attacking the system during the runtimes. And these are like the impacts that you can actually see. If you can take a picture, that will save me repeating all these things. But I think it's around confidentiality of trained and test data, confidentiality of model and intellectual property, confidentiality of your input data, model behavior, availability of the model, that's important, and the CI tried for non-AI specific assets. I know the font is very, very small and this is available at waspai.org itself. So the way we actually project out is the AI matrix. So you categorize your threats, the impact itself, and what is the unwanted result, right? And again, like you can go to the website that I'm going to share towards the tail, and you can actually see it in a much bigger font. So most of these would be clickable. We also have a section in OWASP.ai.org around threats and controls navigator. So it's categorized very well. And if you click on this particular image on the website, you can actually get like a PDF version. And all the links that you see on this particular screen are clickable, so you can actually go to the relevant documentation on that. And at the bottom, there is a legend which will tell you like what exactly are we talking about. And there are like some thread models that are available on the website. This is specifically on the development time threads. You can actually review this within the website, go through that one. And if you have any specific question on any of this, you are more than welcome to communicate back to the core team. And there is a Slack channel called AI-community. So you can actually post your questions, reach out to us, reach out through LinkedIn if you have any other stuff. But I think that's a very active channel. We have around 250 plus people in the community, and it's a growing community. So this is talking about the same thing, but threat and impacts with controls. And more threat models are going to be built over a period of time. I mean, we have like a huge roadmap ahead of us. So it's actually coming down the pipe. Yes. So these are like some of the general controls that we have. And one thing that I wanted to point out, which Rob actually specifically asked me to convey, is the following threats and controls are highlights from AI Exchange, of which most of are not in the LLM top 10, right? So LLM top 10 is just focusing on the top 10. This is more comprehensive. Around the governance aspect, right? There are like 6 different areas that we are focusing on from a governance standpoint. The AI program, which is around install and execute a program to govern AI. Security program is geared toward making sure the organization has security program, and that includes the whole AI lifecycle and AI specific aspects. Secure development program focuses on having process to make sure the security is built into the software and making sure the data science development activities are also part of this. Having a development lifecycle program for AI is the next one, which is apply general software engineering best practice to AI development. Check for compliance and security education. And security education is to data scientists and development teams on AI threat awareness, including attacks and models. It is essential for engineers, including data scientists, to attain a security mindset. Very important. Limit the effects of unwanted behavior. Again, 6 different categories on this one. Having the oversight is very, very important around the model behavior by humans or business logic in form of rules and guardrails. I think in the LLM top 10, Scott was talking about the same thing around the guardrails. This would result in detecting unwanted model behavior and correct in all the execution of a model's decision. Minimize privileges, least privileges of a model to autonomously take actions. AI transparency, continuous validation, explainability, and the unwanted bias testing, which is kind of doing test runs on the model to measure unwanted bias, unwanted behavior causes by an attack that can be detected. And again, like I'm not going to read all of this. Most of this would be there on the website with very detailed information. Again, like the third aspect is around the data, sensitive data limitation itself. Remove or anonymize data fields or records from the training set. Ensure allowed data, removing data that is prohibited for the intended purpose. And remove or anonymize data once it's no longer needed or when legally required. And minimize access to technical detail that could help attackers. This essentially would reduce the information available to attackers, which can assist them in selecting and tailoring their attacks, thereby lowering the probability of a successful attack.
That's what going to point here.
Uh,
Like that.
so I think the threads that we see, we talked about the development, use, and in production itself, right? So model behavior manipulation, I think it's in three different areas around evasion, closed box evasion, open box evasion, evasion after data poisoning.
Yes, dude.
I think it's all geared towards preventing attackers that are not authorized to perform attacks through use. Attackers may succeed in authenticating as an authorized user or qualify as an authorized user or bypass the access control through a vulnerability.
It and
And development time threats.
I'm being text.
I think that's talking about the development security. We talked briefly on like why it's important to have security and AIGX at the development time. So development security, segregation of data to ensure like sensitive development data is a separated area with restricted access, confidential confidential compute, federated learning, and supply chain management. I think those are like important areas. There needs to be focus on the sensitive data leak during development. I think most important is around preventing unauthorized access to train or test data through a data leak of a development environment. I mean, like if it's breach itself, it can have an impact on confidentiality breach of sensitive and test data. Model theft is another area. Source code configuration leaks. Runtime application security threats. I think the one which is not in the top 10, which we wanted to emphasize, is leak sensitive input data itself. So input data can be sensitive and can either leak through a failure or through an attack such as a man-in-the-middle attack. Impact is under the confidentiality breach of sensitive input data.
Each or
So these are like some of the roadmap items that we have. So we intend to actually release 1.0 in the near future. It should be out for review by community and by the core group itself. Treat the Exchange 1.0, which should be released at least to AI Act and ISO 27090. Make it easier for readers to recognize the development model and select what is relevant to them. So the intent is to make it very generic so that it can be adopted in various organizations in different verticals. Working on more illustration of threat models that we talked about and attack vectors. And again, like stressing on the same point, engagement with other like regulatory bodies. So further alignment with MITRE Atlas, NIST LLM Top 10, NISA's work, and AI PPP International Privacy Group. So all these are like some of the key deliverables road item in our roadmap.
very key.
How do you get involved? We have multiple areas that you can actually access information. We have a Slack channel called Project AI Community. I'll have like a QR code for this one also. It's in the OWASP Slack channel. We definitely have a LinkedIn group. You can actually get updates through that one. We meet regularly. It's a bi-weekly conversation which is recorded and it's put on YouTube. You can have access to that one to see how the decision making is happening. And if you want to connect to the group, you can actually reach out directly to Rob through LinkedIn, and also you can actually post your question on the Slack group channel.
Here.
And one thing I want to stress, which we covered, the Slack, the OWASP AI Exchange is built on expertise from contributors across the board, across all disciplines, from AI experts and like security experts.
Oh,
So where can you find more information? That's the landing site was ai.org itself. It's very well organized. I mean, like there is a section for charter, what our mission really is. How do you connect with us? How do you contribute? How do you register with us? The media focuses on like the YouTube channel itself. And this, if you go to the second half of the page, it talks about our content. You can actually look at the general control that we were talking about. Threads both at user development and runtime. So the content is already there. And it's cross-reference website. So you can actually easily navigate through the website very, very easily. Participate in the content development. Do you like something? Things that you can actually do, send your suggestions to Rob, join the Slack channel, discuss with the project leaders how to become a part of the writing group, the authors group. Propose your concepts. We do have like a GitHub channel for the project itself, and you can definitely post your questions.
Good.
So this is the landing site, waspai.org itself.
It's okay. In my one recently. Largely.
You can follow us on LinkedIn.
How do I?
I mean, like I cannot speak on behalf of Rob on this specific question, but I would assume like the collaboration with NIST, Pointer, ITU, and all those different things are geared towards the same conversations or at least discussion with those private entities itself.
Involvement.
And I think like Scott was also mentioning earlier in the previous slide, the previous presentation is around, I'm definitely sure like they're actually looking at this documentation as what we are putting forth in terms of the controls and threads. Get involved and contribute. We talked about this part. So you can actually go to YouTube, you can scan this particular QR code for getting access, or go to the YouTube channel for OWASP AI Exchange. So far we had like 8 bi-weekly meetings thus far.
You like
This is the Slack channel, Project AI community. A couple of FAQs that typically get asked to us around what is our stance on privacy. That's the link for that one. What is our stance on copyrights? So that material is getting built as we speak. How do you get associated? That's a link which you will get information about all these different channels. And what are the same frameworks that exist around Gen AI? Again, there is a references section. You can look at those ones. And how does it complement OWASP LLM Top 10? LLM Top 10 is around like the top 10 issues. Exchange is about all issues related to AI. So we're going to definitely share the presentation deck itself. You don't have to read all these links right now, so you can actually click on these links and